This urge, the hunger, is our life force so that we can continue to do what we really meant to do. What I discovered on this journey of entrepreneurship is that it kind of evolved. It ended up transforming my life, transforming my relationships, freedom from food and body obsession, rekindling my relationships with my parents, my partners, becoming a better parent. It wasn't just about building my business anymore, which was funny because that was the main aim at the beginning. And then it now evolved into creating this legacy. And if you are new to my account, I am leading women into revolutionizing recovery as we know it. And that is, instead of the tradition of trying to stop the urges to binge, we stop the binge eating. That's the first level, but we keep the urges. We instead harness the power behind the urges, instead to propel us into creating our fairy tale life. Because if you have been struggling from things like destructive eating, you know how powerful those urges are. They made you feel out of control. When the pull is there, you can feel it in your body. And the only reason why you binge is the only way you can stop that uncomfortable feeling happening in your body. But in my mission to revolutionize recovery as we know it, I rewire that. I rewrite that story about those urges. In actual fact, I believe that we were born with that hunger. That hunger can only be satisfied by us following our purpose, by us doing what we desire, by us expressing our true selves. Then our soul is satisfied, and therefore there's no need to binge on food. There's no need to body shame ourselves, because where we're so satisfied doing the things what we love, showing up as our true selves, there is no more hunger for the little things that they're just there for us to enjoy life. Food is there for us to live, but it's also for us to enjoy. It's not supposed to medicate us. It's not supposed to punish us. It was there for our enjoyment. And so what happens to that hunger? It doesn't ever go away. And this is the reason why for years, even when I thought I recovered from binge eating, I actually ended up having with so much rage, and I was fighting with my partner. I struggled with my business. I fought with my family, because even though I stopped binge eating, I was still obsessed with eating healthy food and convinced myself I was a healthy eater, but really I was depriving myself, and my world was still upside down. I thought if I just stopped binge eating that my life would magically transform and be lovely. But no, it actually felt like it was even worse. That's why it's not enough just to stop binge eating. Not if you don't resolve the true cause. And second, get rid of that power. It's almost like numbing. It's almost taking your life force. This urge, the hunger, is our life force so that we can continue to do what we really meant to do. And that is to create the life that we love in all areas of our life. So one of the things that made this easier on my journey was that you can't really F it up. I don't know if I can swear on social media, so I'm just going to say F it up. We cannot F up this journey, because from what I've experienced trying things and not knowing things, when I realized that even the things that went completely wrong was actually good information. I'll give you an example. This is going to resonate with you if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, or a coach. A while ago, I invested in a coach. The reason why we struggle a lot is because we label things. It's not just food, good food and bad food. We also label our life experiences. And like I said, I hired this coach, and she was supposed to give me 3 sessions to give me a report with human design a long time ago. And when it was time for me to have our first session, she kept cancelling, and then she kept moving the date, and she did it so many times for the first session. And then I guess because she kept cancelling, she must have felt bad, to the point where she sent me a picture of her car broken down and said, "I'm really sorry, I can't make it." And I was like thinking to myself, what the hell? This is a freaking joke. I've just paid for this, and this coach cannot keep her commitments. So anyway, that infuriated me. And then we finally got on our coaching session, and she was all over the place. Behind her living room, it was like a bomb state. Not that I'm judging anyone, but it was a huge distraction for me, because I just kept looking behind her. And obviously, I wasn't as wise as I am now. Now I'm able to look beyond just the aesthetics of things if the information is right. But at that time, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, you can't even be bothered to tidy up behind her. And then on top of that, she was all over the place with coaching. She didn't know what she was talking about, and she doubted herself, which then made me doubt her. It was a huge shamble, to the point that I didn't want to see her again. I forfeited the other 2. I had 3 sessions in all, and I forfeited the other 2 because I thought, I'm not going to waste my time with this coach. I've already wasted so many times because we had to postpone the session. And then when we finally met, she just was not paying attention. She was not focused. She's obviously not here for me. She had too many distractions, and it was such a bad coaching experience. And I remember straight away thinking, oh my God, I just wasted a few £100 here for something that I thought was going to be really helpful, but it was waste. But do you know what turned everything around? When I realized I wasn't really paying for the coaching. I wasn't even paying for what she was going to share with me, information about my human design. In this instance, I was investing in the wisdom of the experience of having a really crap session. And that is priceless. And you're thinking, now, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, what I got from that experience was that I never want to be that coach. I never want to be a coach that you can't rely on. I want to be the coach that has got integrity, and a coach that you can trust, and her word is solid. So if I say I'm going to meet you at a certain date, at a certain time, I commit to it. You can rely on me 100%. And if I was going to give you a promise, I stick to my promise. And then I put in 100% in the sessions. And so that was an example of the wisdom that I got from that. Yeah, I may have known this kind of on paper, and I read it, and it's, be on time and make sure this is what you should give to your clients. But when you actually experience it for real, it does something inside you. It changes the way that you think. It changes you at a molecular level where the lesson is already embodied, rather than just knowledge that you need to remember for next time. And that's why I'm saying that this journey gets a lot easier when you realize there is really no way you can F it up. Because at that moment where I thought I made the biggest mistake of my life, investing in a coach that completely didn't give what I wanted her to give me, as I've progressed in this journey, some of the best wisdom that I have embodied was through the biggest mistakes of my life, the biggest losses in my life, in time, effort, and investments. Some of the biggest things that I have found that have moved me was in those things. And I think a lot of the time we have this warped idea that if you make a bad investment, if you meet the bad client, or if you meet these people that are narcissists and we put a label on them, it's bad straight away. It's like saying goodbye to free courses. It's like saying no to a free gift. And that's why I'm revolutionizing recovery as we know it, because most of the people that are struggling with eating disorders and binge eating, especially, actually, not all of them is the same. If you're fighting with your body, if you're fighting with food, it's still the same in my books. You're fighting against the gift that is trying to give to you. Because when we stop labeling things as being bad and actually look for the gift within, that's when magic happens. That's when we become so free. And that's when, even if we don't see any evidence of anything changing, we enjoy the path to creating our dream lives, our fairy tale lives, because we know that someday we're going to look back on hindsight on how much that piece of FUBAR experience that we had was actually something that was going to help somewhere further up the line. And without that, we could have made a bigger mistake in the future. I mean, who knows? I only wasted a few £100 with this coach. And that was a lot of money back then when I wasn't earning a lot of money. But now, because of that experience, I show up better with my clients. My clients trust me. They depend on me. They're not like codependent, but they know that they can trust me and they know the quality of my work. And also it gives me that natural intuition when it comes to investing again, because hadn't I experienced that, then maybe next time it would have been a few $100,000 that I would have lost. And that's why you hear with successful people, the reason why they take big risks now is because they have detached themselves from expecting things to look a certain way, because they know every single thing that they invest in, whether it's time, money, or energy, is always going to be gold to them, because it really is not the stuff, the tools, the strategies that help people, because if that was the case, and diets would work. But the reason why diets are booming is because they don't work. But knowing the fact that no matter what you get, no matter what life presents you, you're either a type of person who'll blame that as ruining your life, or you're type of person that says, I can find gold in everything that I have and experience. And that makes you unstoppable. Not because you're smarter than anyone else, but because you know that nothing is really good or bad, that everything can be gold. And therefore, as a consequence, life becomes a lot easier, because you're not expecting things to be done a certain way. You're not trying to control every outcome. Honestly, like, did you watch that video the other day when I got told that my daughter's passport, UK application passport, was denied? It was all like, it's like such a long story, but it was a nightmare. And for me, it's just that automatic panic, but I didn't. I self-regulated, I did my best, and I let go. And I didn't allow that to ruin my whole day. Back in the day, I would have been stressed out for days and weeks until it's sorted. But now I did my best. It took me maybe a good couple of hours to sort that out, but then I'm able to live and continue. That's why I can be reliable and trustworthy to my clients, because I'm not there stressing out, because I have this mindset that there's a gift in everything, there's knowledge in everything. So it releases me from stress. And let's face it, the reason why we self-sabotage, like binge eating, is because of labeling things good and bad. I shouldn't eat this because it's too fatty. I should eat this because it's healthy. I shouldn't look this fat. I should look thin. The shoulds are the culprit, are the dream busters. Yeah. Dream destroyers. That's the word. Shoulds are dream destroyers. And that is one of the things that have made this journey a lot easier, is knowing the fact that you cannot F it up. The only thing that changes really is time. It's time. You can either stay where you are and not do anything, do the same thing again and again, or you make brave moves. Even if you F it up, you change, you move. It has no choice. If you're doing something different, you're going to do something different. You may F it up, but guess what? You'll find the gift in it. And from my experience through going through this entrepreneurship journey, from overcoming back-to-back addictions, from rekindling my relationships, from transforming my relationship with my husband, my parents, to become a better parent, to doing what I love every day, to having peace with my body, obviously, and freedom when it comes to food. It's all based on the same thing, is letting go of the shoulds. Letting go of the shoulds creates peace. And when you've got peace, if there's peace in your body, then that affects manifestations. Because when you're calm, your radar, your visibility, like your scanner, your reticular activating system, where it scans for evidence and information to help you get what you desire, it broadens. And then that's when you experience miracles, because you're not just focusing on your body and food, and you're not just focusing on stress and things should be this way. When you're calm, anything is possible. And when anything is possible, your mind will open up. And then you plant in all those things that you want, you desire, and then it will bring it to you. It will bring the information to you. And don't get me wrong, it's not bringing it to you like suddenly you desire to have the bod of your dreams and you wake up from 120 kilos and wake up the next day at 50 kilos. But your mind will tell you in the next step. You wake up that morning, you might not fancy your binge foods anymore. I've experienced that. I've experienced clients that come in, they was destroying themselves with binge eating, and the next morning they didn't have the urges anymore. Why is that? That's because something in their mind changed. Something in their reticular activating system changed. They stopped focusing on the things that they thought need fixing, and in actual fact, realized that they were here for more. They're here to live a life they love. And funnily enough, most of them realized it's actually not the body that they were really, really like. They just wanted to feel loved. They wanted to be accepted. They want to feel enough. They wanted to feel good in their body. So anyway, I hope this video has helped you open your mind and realize that you can't F it up. The only way that, you can't F it up. You either change or you stay where you are. And if you stay where you are, you won't F it up, but you'll stay where you are. But if you take the brave step, you do the things that you know that's going to help you get where you want to go, whatever that is, whether it's to invest in a deep subconscious healing, like the stuff that I do to help my clients, or whether it is to invest in something towards your dreams, or whether it's to leave that narcissistic relationship. No matter what that step is, you know what it is, but you're scared to do it. Guarantee you that your life is going to change. And even when it feels scary, even when you think, oh my God, I'm going to F it up, you can't F it up, darling. You cannot F it up. You'll get instant result. You'll get instant feedback like I did with that awful coach. And it might end up being the best decision of your life. So I'm going to go now. If you resonate with any of this, if you are struggling with eating and your body image, and most importantly, if you have this burning desire to create the life that you love, you feel like you are here for something, a purpose, you feel like you're supposed to do something, maybe you're not too sure what that is, or maybe you love what you do, but you're so scared to do what the things that you desire, and you keep hiding, you keep falling on strategies and it doesn't work, and you're feeling overwhelmed, and all you want to do is just feel in flow, doing what you love, and know for certain that it's going to work out, but you're just full of fear. I am going to be inviting you on a 21-day challenge to help you transform one thing that is going to help you move you towards that dream life, your fairy tale life. And there's going to be healings, there's going to be activations, there's going to be soul work, and there's going to be these live sessions that you can also accelerate the things that you're trying to transform in that 21 days, because this is not just a challenge. This is about awakening the woman inside you, who have big dreams, the woman inside you that doesn't want to play small anymore, the woman inside you that have got that real hunger for a life worth living. So until next time, take care and thank you for listening. Bye.